Most people don't realize how important being frugal and living within your means can shave years off your path to financial independence. In my 20s, I've been cheap as hell, and that has allowed me to accumulate a net worth of $500,000. Today, I want to talk about the power of frugality and show you how you can take charge of your life through your spending. If you're new here, my name is Kalen, and I've been working towards financial independence for 8 years since I was 20. Everyone talks about increasing your income to achieve financial independence, but along the way, I have not had impressive salaries. My highest salary has been these past 2 years around $100,000, but my average salary over the last 8 years has been around $70,000. The driving factor for my net worth growth has been my frugality, and now that I have a substantial nest egg, I can take the gas off and coast through the compounding of my assets. It's so important to accelerate saving your first $100,000 to $200,000 so that compounding can start working its magic. This video will have 3 parts: how frugality can supercharge your FI journey, the big hitters, housing and cars, and the massive effects of mindless spending. Let's start with part 1. At the end of the day, financial independence is a math problem. Most commonly, you are financially independent when your investments reach 25 times your spending. At that point, you could live off 4% of your investment growth indefinitely. You can think of FI as a factor, your investments divided by your projected expenses. Let's say that your expenses are $40,000. This means that you would need $1 million in investments to be financially independent. Now, let's show the effects of frugality. Let's say you find a way to spend $1,000 less per year, so you need $39,000 to live now. There are several easy ways to do this, and you can definitely go beyond to $38,000, $37,000, $36,000 if you are able to plan your life accordingly and be intentional with your spending. For each $1,000 that you can reduce in expenses, your FI requirement drops by $25,000. How long does it take you to save $25,000? For some people, it's less than a year. And with compounding, it's not a big difference. But in my opinion, for the majority of people, $25K can take years to save. Now that you see the outsized effect of reducing your expenses to achieve FIRE faster, let's talk about some strategies to reduce spending while not compromising on quality of life. Let's face it, the biggest required expenses we face are housing and car ownership. The theme of this next topic is going to be living within or below your means and minimizing the drag of debt. Imagine an airplane flying to Fire Island, but all of a sudden you put a big flat cube in front of it. That drag will slow down the airplane's speed significantly. Well, that is similar to how debt has the drag effect on your ability to save and reach FI. It is money spent that doesn't contribute to the growth of your net worth. Housing and cars are the biggest culprits of people taking on debt. They get a new job, start making a sizable living, and then start to find ways to use this money instead of saving. Minimizing your housing and car costs, especially early on in your financial journey, will have huge effects downstream. Because the faster you can build a nest egg that can start compounding by itself, the easier it will be in the future to reach your goal. Getting into housing, they say that housing should be a maximum of 30% of your gross income. So if the household makes $100,000 gross, then housing should cost $30K per year. I personally think this is actually aggressive. I think it's aggressive because $100K gross is actually around $70K net. And then you are essentially putting half your money into housing. What my partner and I did was that we bought a house that had expenses around 30% of our net income. By the way, this includes everything: mortgage, insurance, internet, property tax, and a maintenance saving account. Because of this, we could save around 50% of our net income at the time. And now that percentage has actually shrunk to about 24% of our net income, which we're spending on our house. Because of this decision, we are on track to pay off our house in 5 years total so that we can get rid of that debt drag. Once we pay off the house, our expenses will drop by 50%, and that means our FI requirement will essentially halve. Cars are another pretty big debt drag because people think that they can afford a car payment as soon as they start working. The biggest issue with cars is that they are a depreciating asset. So taking out debt on a depreciating asset will have quite a large effect on your net worth. You essentially lose 20% of the car's value as soon as you drive it off the dealership lot. I have heard countless stories of people who have taken out loans for cars and then wanted to get rid of the car, but they couldn't sell the car for the remaining loan value. So they end up selling the car for less, and they still have a loan on this car that they don't own anymore, and then they get a new car with a new loan. It's a vicious cycle. What my partner and I have done is buy either 2 to 5 year old cars used with cash, which should still be reliable, but they have a huge discount compared to new. We have also bought lower end new cars all in cash up front. That way you're optimizing the reliability of the car, which does have a cost. You're optimizing depreciation, and you are not taking on debt. Obviously, I don't know your specific circumstances, but in general, this is what I would recommend if you need a car. It's better to take a few months and save for a car than to get a loan. Now, let's move on to part 3, where I want to talk about the insidious effects of mindless or non-intentional spending. I define this as spending that doesn't truly make you happier. This is your random Amazon purchases at 10 p.m., which you use once or twice and then store away. This is getting a phone plan with 100 gigabytes of data when you only use 10% of that. This is paying for Netflix, Apple TV, and Crave all at the same time, but only using one of them that month. I think you get the point. Everyone does these things, and sometimes they don't even realize it. But if you take the time to audit your life, what are you really spending, and is it all bringing you value? I can guarantee you will find ways to optimize that can lead to $1,000 to $2,000 of savings without it affecting your happiness. Hell, it may even actually make you happier because you will have more money either for saving or for intentional spending, such as vacations. Here are some examples of things that I've done in the past. 1, I've switched car insurance providers, saving $600 per year. 2, I switched from a phone plan with 30 gigabytes per month to one with 30 gigabytes per year, and I saved $300 per year. I deleted Amazon so I don't feel the urge to scroll and spend needlessly, saving about $300 per year. I realized I was mostly using Spotify for podcasts instead of music, and their premium membership doesn't really affect podcasts, so I canceled my subscription, saving me $150 per year. My current phone is almost 6 years old, and I don't buy a new phone every 1 to 2 years because nowadays the changes are minuscule and the experience is virtually the same. This is, let's say, $500 savings per year. With these simple examples, I've reduced my expected expenses by about $2,000 per year, resulting in needing $50,000 less to retire and being able to save faster or spend on things that actually bring me joy. In conclusion, being frugal and intentional with your spending, especially in the first 10 years of saving, will have massive outsized effects on your ability to reach financial independence quicker. I hope that this video helped you out. Everyone's financial journey is different, and I hope we can help each other to get there quicker. Please let me know if you have any thoughts or suggestions for future topics in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.